Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Today we have a scenario by Mineral Eater. War has been exhausting the building supplies. The fleet has returned to port, all beaten up. Barely anything is in working condition. The British ships are bombarding the coastlines and cutting off the supply lines. It's not a great scenario for Germany to start, is it? The engineers approach the Admiral with a daring plan. Take what is left of the ships and build battleships, or build a battleship rather, from the scraps that lie in port. The Admiral realizes this is the only chance that they have to make a possible breakout and resecure the area. As it turns out, a heavy cruiser and 3 destroyers can be repaired and will join your fleet. But the battleship will require you to make many decisions. Even though the ships are modern, not everything can be repaired. As it turns out, no 2 guns are the same that are still functional. The construction will be a nightmare. You'll be building a German battleship, 1940s tech. Displacement, speed and range are up to you. The upgrades, however, are not. You can divide a set number of upgrade points to each of the different modules. Spend them wisely. Now, I'll start designing the ship and then I'll explain how that design system works. Hold up, the starting range is 10,000 meters because the British are already off the coast and I need to tackle them there. Now, as the scenario goes, I get 1 battleship, 1 heavy and 3 DDs. They get 2 battlecruisers, 4 lights and 2 DDs. Not necessarily the toughest match for a battleship, but it's going to be a Frankenstein of a ship. It's going to look ridiculous. Alright, let me first pick the hull. Considering that we are in a very terrible state, I think that super battleships 1 and 2 are out of the question. So I'll just pick a modern battleship, giving me far less to work with. And let's reduce that to about 60,000 tons. I still feel like, there we go, they need to make this clickable, so you can say click, I want X amount of tons, enter. And then you have a far easier time selecting this. Alright, here come the upgrade points. To calculate the cost of an upgrade, count how far the selection is to the right compared to the leftmost selection. So in case of the engines, this is 1 point, 2, 3, 4. Geared turbines 2 have a cost of 5 points. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Anti-torp 3 has a cost of 3 points. Because anti-torp 3 is the third out from 0. Now I have, for propulsion, a total of 10 points available. So I can pick any kind of mix of these techs, but I have to keep in mind that I only have 10 points. Considering how close the enemy is, speed is not necessarily that important. I'd say that a turning circle is much more interesting, because that allows me to dodge torpedoes, which the heavy cruisers and the battle cruiser, and especially the destroyers, might have. In that case, having a lot of engine upgrades is really not that useful. In this case, I'm already spending 1, 2, 3 points on turbines, and that leaves me with just 7 points. This is already another point, so that's 6 points left. Natural boilers, I'll put those on induced, and maybe I can make that work. 5 points. And then I'll take an auxiliary engine. That's another 2 points, leaving me with 4 points, I believe. And then shaft 3, leaving me with 1 point, and aux 3 means that I have maxed out my points. Putting the turning circle of the ship in a current configuration at 487 meters. Of course, it's not quite going to be that as we put more of the superstructure on. Protection, I have 14 points. This means that this is not 1 point. This is 1 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points out of my 14 are already down the drain. But I feel like if I have to have a chance of survival, this is pretty much mandatory. Just having that Krupp 4 armor. So that leaves me with 7 points to spend on protection. 1, 2. So that's 5 points. 1, 2 is 3 points. Good lord. 1, 2, 3. No. Oof. Okay, protection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. So 14 minus 7 is 7. Minus 2 is 5. Minus 2 is 3. And that means that I only have a Citadel 3 if I go for Group 4 armor. Now, the game says that I only have to spend this many points on protection. It doesn't say how many points I have to spend on armor. So what I could do is sacrifice 2 points here. And that way free up a few points here to get anti-flooding 1 and reinforced bulkheads 1. And considering that I'll be bulking out the ship a lot more with armor, maybe I can just get my armor strength back up to, well, something that's acceptable. Armament, I have 18 points. If everything is set in the standard configuration. But standard shells, you know what? In this case, I'm going to change the scenario a little bit. And I'm going to say if I go for light shells, I'm going to have a -1. So I'm going to have an extra point. So standard shells means that I don't spend any points on there. Standard complement, same. If I go for reduced, I get a point. Propulsion, oh, sorry, propellant, not propulsion. Propellant, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of my 18 points. As he wrote in the scenario, a high TNT propellant has a cost of 10 points out of your 18. So that is a significant cost. What to do? I don't really have a proclivity to go for Lid-Eye 2. My thinking is that a flash fire chance of 40% and a pretty terrible defense is not really going to make Lid-Eye 2 viable. It'll probably just end up damaging the ship. One flash fire and the whole thing's done. So that means that I have to have something that reduces the flash fire chance. Tube powder does just that. But that is 8 points out of my existing 18 points. Still, I'd rather have 2 powder and not face an explosion than have the ship suddenly explode underneath me. Hydraulic turrets. I have 8 points left. Sorry, no, I have 10 points left. Because I went with 2 powder and not high TNT. 10 points. 9 points. 6. Sorry, 9 points, 8, 7, 6 points. 4 points. 3 points. 2 points, 1 point. 0. All points expended. Equipment, 6 points only. This is fortunately not too expensive. This is 2 points. So that leaves me with 4 points to spend on equipment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jesus. That's terrible. That's a stereoscopic too. Oh no. Generation 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I only spent 1 point on radar. So I get a plus 6% bonus to gun base accuracy and 25% bonus to gun aiming speed. Right. Now, here ends the whole points system. Now we get to the guns. And the scenario continues. The guns, however, are a different challenge. No 2 turrets may be the same. This is not counting the 2 and the 3-inch. For example, having 2 double-barreled 15-inch guns is not in the spirit of this construction challenge. However, a single 15-inch barrel and a triple-barrel 15-inch turret is perfectly fine. Note, due to these restrictions, it is not to... it's in the spirit of the scenario not... Oh, never mind. Due to these restrictions, it is only possible to place a single torpedo launcher. Also, be careful not to build a symmetrical ship. So normally, where I have an A, B, X, Y turret, That, in this case, doesn't work, because we're just scrapping everything that we can and putting it all together on one ship. And hoping that it's all going to work together somewhat. Let's go with an Uber funnel. Maybe that's too much. That is still too much. That's still too much. Hold on. If I can go for natural boilers and set an Uber funnel up, I get a 73% efficiency, which means I can still spend 1 point on something else. Let's go with a better shaft. Aux 4. Because with that, I just get that rudder speed up a little more. Right then. 21,000 tons of displacement. I can pick any guns, but I have to make sure that no guns are the same, which will mean that balancing the ship out is going to be a nightmare. Unfortunately, it seems like the superstructure is too far forward. Oh, wow, you could do that? No, you can't, because the ship's not big enough. The secondary tower is too large. I was hoping to put... Oh, there it is. To put a barbette up here. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use the enlarged superimposed. But I can do something like this. Although, of course, that means I lose this effectiveness. I lose that turret position. No two guns are allowed to be the same. Right. We found a couple of 15-inch triples. Or, well, we found one. We also found a 17-inch quad. No, we didn't. It's way too heavy. Way too big to sit on that stern. What if we found a 17-1? No, 17 inches are just out of the question. That, however, could fit. Puts an aft weight offset of 23.5%. Now, I'm going to stick to the scenario for role-playing purposes, and that means I'll not be using anything larger than 16-inch guns. Because I'm suspecting that the Germans, in their state of distress, supply-wise, would not have the engineering tech or the supplies to build 20-inch guns. As far as 14-inch triples and quadruples are concerned, I'm going to say no. Because I think that they wouldn't do that. Quadruples are very much the terrain of the French. 15-inch triple, 14-inch dual, and a 16-inch single. Yes, that makes total sense. This is going to be a logistical scare, this thing. Trying to get all of these different guns supplied with ammunition is not going to be pretty. Another challenge that I'll have is when it comes down to the secondary ammo, or the secondary armament. I'm going to turn off the mirror mode. Here, auto mirror. Is it off, or is it on? It is off. Okay. Because no two turrets can be the same. So I'm going to have to look at what sort of weight these turrets bring. I could go with one 6.6-inch over there for 289 tons. And then I can do a 7-inch dual on the other side. Of course, that won't really want to fit, because it's a bit bigger. Meaning I'm have to pull this thing out farther. Putting the starboard offset at 0.7. Good lord, this is going to be a ship from hell. Pull that out even more. I want it to be able to fire forward, but the gun very much refuses. That was a 6-inch triple here. Starboard weight offset 1.8%. So I need to push it in slightly. There. So I've just balanced a 7-inch dual and a 6-inch triple. We also have a 6-inch singular over there. That's a 131 tons. Can I get something that weighs 131 tons? No. At least not like this. So we're going to go with a 5-inch triple. Maybe I should swap those things around. Because this is 3 barrels and this is 6. So you're going to sit over there. And that 6-inch singular is It's going to sit over here. Port weight offset 0.4%. If I push it in... No, it doesn't want to be pushed in. If I pull this one out 1 notch... Doesn't like it. It's either offset port or offset starboard. Okay, so I have a 6-inch triple and a 6-inch single. We're going to go with an 8-inch... Oof, that's going to be very hard to balance. An 8-inch dual is 393 tons. That's really tricky to balance. Still, I'll accept the challenge. 8-inch... Oh, never mind, it doesn't even want to fit. And the superstructure is so far pushed back that I'm not even able to fit that. Hold on. All of you. Crap. I have to rebalance the whole ship if I want to pull the superstructure forward. Fine. Get rid of the guns. Get rid of everything. What I had over there was a, what, a 15... No, a 14-inch double, I think. Like that, a 14 double. All the secondary turrets are now gone. Secondary tower back on. You get to go over there. 4 weight offsets, only 2.7%. That's better. Uber funnel 3. And now the whole balancing act begins anew. So what we had here was 6-inch triple. And then 7-inch dual. Starboard weight offset, 3.7%. You know what? For a ship like this, if I can get a 100% balance for this Frankenstein of a thing, then I'm probably doing something wrong. Because it's not really supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be a hodgepodge of all sorts of different components. Can we get the 6-inch dual? That's 196 tons. What about an 8-inch single? Too heavy. And too big. Yeah, the 7 inchers don't want to fit. What about one of these? Port weight offset 1%. I can live with that. We got 4 barrels port, 6 barrels starboard. If I swap these around, we're a little bit more balanced as far as it comes to firepower. So 6 and 6 and 5 and 7. Let's see that, or let's say that we found a 4-inch dual and a 4-inch triple. We also found a 4-inch single lying around somewhere. And we found a 5-inch... No, it's too big. A 3-inch triple. Starboard weight offset 4.7%. I need to push one of these turrets back in. Port weight offset 2.8%. Oh, sorry, 0.2%. Then, the limitation didn't go for 2 and 3 inches, right? Yeah, not counting 2 and 3 inch guns. Okay, great. So I can put a few more 333s on here to assist with fighting destroyers. Let's say we had a whole bunch of those things lying around, and we want to put those on the ship. Case-made guns, not a factor. I cannot use those at all. What I have not yet used is an 8-inch gun. Let's say that we still found an 8-inch gun from, I don't know, a Hipper class cruiser. And that we can still use that. Starboard weight offset is 3.5%. What do I not have yet? 5-inch single? 5-inch dual? Yeah, I used the 5-inch triple, not the 5-inch dual yet. Starboard weight offset's too high. You're going to go over there. And I'll use a 5-inch single over here. And we're back to 2.7%. And what else do I want to have? I got 5-inch 1, 2, and 3. 5-inch triple, 5-inch dual, 5-inch single. 6-inch. 6-inch single is what I can still use. Provided that I can still find a habitable spot on this ship. Which is pretty unlikely. Oh, here. Starboard weight offset, 53%. I have not yet deployed one single 7-inch. But considering how tough it was to fit this... Wow! To fit the 6-inch in, I thought this was never going to fit. But it does. Hold on a moment. I need you to park somewhere. That's the 7-inch dual. If I shift this thing here... What? Now you don't want to fit anymore? Wow, that is one dominant 7-inch turret. All of a sudden it just refuses to sit. 6-inch singular. Yeah, fine, just sit over there. Starboard weight of set, 37.5%. 31.3. I still need to bring those 7-inch guns back. I have no 7-inch guns at the moment. Let's put one of those on. He said, optimistically, and then found that there was absolutely no room for it. What is so heavy on the starboard side? Yeah, I'm trying to balance a 289er with a... Yeah, there we go. This needs to be a 7 dual. Starboard weight offset 6.4. She'll probably be listing to starboard. And I'm afraid that there's not that much that I can do to fix that particular threat. She will be listing. This Frankenstein ship. Checking again. 5-inch, single, dual, triple, 6-inch, dual, triple, 7-inch, dual, 8-inch, dual, dual 14-inch, triple 15-inch, singular 16-inch. What is this monstrosity? Range, not important, because we're just going to make it out of the port and then start blasting. How heavy is an underwater torpedo tube? Whoa. Pretty severe. Maybe I can balance that out, but just having a port-side underwater torpedo tube. Can I do that again? Yes! Look at that! 2 torpedo tubes only on the port side. We're able to balance out the ship. The thing is, it's only possible to place a single torpedo launcher. Yoink. There we go. Back off with that torpedo launcher. It means I only have one. One over here on the port side. If I'm going to have a torpedo launcher, I'd rather have it on the bow. Not necessarily particularly useful. Especially since I don't have it upgraded whatsoever. It's just going to be a small 18-inch hit. But whatever. I at least have another weapon system installed. Now, if I can install another weapon system on the port side to balance the ship out, that'd be great. But I'm not sure if I can do that. Secondary guns, triple. Because 18-inch... Oh, hold up. 18-inch does pitch in. Quite substantially. Can I use a dual 2-inch? Starboard weight offset too high? Starboard weight offset still too high? If I go with a dual 3-inch? Look at that! Starboard weight offset 0.5%. If I go with the 2-inch dual? 0.8. 0.4. You know what? For a ship that is as messy as this, I'm going to accept this build. Starboard weight offset of 0.4. I was not allowed to build a symmetrical ship in the sense that I have ABXY turrets or that turrets mirror each other. Well, they don't mirror each other. I have one of each. The game is probably going to throw an absolute fit when I try to launch it and have a look at what sort of guns and what sort of ammunition I have available for the ship. The last thing I still have to do is put on more armor. Fortunately, I have quite a bit of it. And I only get an 88% armor quality buff. Let's go with 8-inch. Let's put some more on the turrets. A bit more on the conning tower. Nothing was said about armor schemes. So I'll use that. What I'm also going to do is not max out the displacement. Just to show that we didn't really have all the stuff that we needed for this particular ship. Starboard weight offset has blossomed to 1.2%, but I'll accept that as is. Right, this is the... not the Wurt, the Frankenstein. Because this is not a ship that you would really place in a navy. Turning circle eventually came out to be 448. Which is really respectable, but I do need another ship to spot torpedoes because I don't have any points left to buy underwater acoustics. Okay, let's put the Frankenstein to the test. What sort of assisting cruisers do I get? Oh, Jesus, you guys are close. This is what I was expecting. I can not really make out how much ammo it has unless I hover over the particular weapon. Okay then, Baden, heavy cruiser. Maximum bulkheads, yay! 9-inch guns. 4-inch gun. Lots of 3s, a whole lot of 2s, more 2s, and some more 2s. Nice. Turning circle 381. Sonar 3. I love this thing. This is going to be a fantastic ship to use against destroyers. And then we got destroyers V3, 2, and 1. V3 was immediately triggered to launch her torpedoes, which traveled 22 knots at a speed of 48.5. Okay. Bulkheads maximum? What the hell, AI? Are you suddenly trying to befriend me or something? Now the V3 is over there. The V2 is over here. Seemingly also rotating that torpedo launcher in the direction of the fleet. If I can still impact it, I'm going to make sure it doesn't target the destroyer. Or... that's not actually a destroyer. That's either a heavy cruiser or a battle cruiser. Hello. Not a battle cruiser. This is the battle cruiser. It's 12 barrels and a bunch of 8-inch supporting guns. Lovely. The amount of range circles on this ship is probably going to be mental. Yep, here we go. 15. What? The 15-inch... has a better range than the 16? It's a Mark III 16 and a Mark IV 15. Aha. Okay. And then we come to the 14. We come to the 8, the 7, the 6, the torpedo, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, and the final flagship near bonus. Now, let's first start with all the DDs popping their smokescreen. And the Frankenstein heading more or less perpendicular to this cruiser. Or actually, no, let's head away from it, because it carries torpedoes. And I'm not feeling too eager to test the defensive capabilities of this ship just yet. Baden, don't follow, just maintain course. DDs. DDs, what are we going to do? V2, I want you to join the division of the heavy cruiser. Yeah, you guys are going to go over there. You guys are going to go over here. V3 immediately takes fire. Yeah, they are heading away from me. Okay. Here is the Frankenstein. What a disaster of a ship. Whoa, we have done some serious damage already with a 15-inch. Nice work. That caused flooding and fire and a rudder damage. That rudder damage could be the end of this ship. If she's not able to turn away from the torpedoes that the V3 just dropped, then she's potentially in for a really bad time. Now, I need to know what capability the ship has as far as it comes to torpedoes and whether they've been launched or not. Judging by her angle, I'm going to say yes, she launched torpedoes. And considering how quickly the ship is flooding, I'm also going to say that it doesn't come with a lot of bulkheads. Now, normally I wouldn't prioritize a heavy cruiser, because normally they're not that big of a threat. But if they are this close, Jesus, that was a lot of damage. 1354, 1292, and 1334. If they're this close and they carry torpedoes, then I'm going to make an exception. It looks like we might be able to sink this guy. Whoa! With a torpedo, yep, from the destroyer. Before we even identified what the hell that thing was. Next target? No idea. Hello, what are you? I think a heavy cruiser. Probably the same, sister ship. Now, it remains to be seen how aggressive these battle cruisers are going to come back. And they are coming back. They've made a hard course correction to port. And they're now perpendicular to my Frankenstein. Let's open up on the Frankenstein. Let's open up on that battle cruiser and all the secondaries of any kind and make a model. Target whatever that cruiser is that's running away. The DD over here, the V2 did drop torpedoes, which works for me. Baden, I did tell you to go there. I'm not sure if it's going to be beneficial at this point to have the Baden already push out from the rest of the group. Now, since some of the torpedo threat has been dissipated, I think I can start turning. And I'm going to tell the Baden to sort of fall in behind the Frankenstein and hope that I can still use her torpedo capability, or her torpedo spotting capability, to see any torps that might be directed at the Frankenstein. I have a 5-year tech advantage, but I'm not sure if that can offset the numbers that the British have. DDs, back. We're gonna head north again. I need to take more prisoners. Well, not take more prisoners, do more damage with my torpedoes. We're not here to take prisoners. Identification 85, 86. Okay. Battle cruisers are still far away, at 18 kilometers out. And normally I'd be able to tell you what sort of an accuracy I have, but currently it's really hard to tell. That single 16 is a weird sight. How long does it take to reload that? 31 seconds. Versus for the triple 15, it only takes 36 seconds. Ah, we found the identification for the light cruiser. This is the Curlew. Oh, so I did sink a light cruiser. Many bulkheads too. Torpedoes 12-3. That very much puts you... No, it puts you outside of the torpedo range. Interesting. I thought that those ships were in range. Very poor visibility on the torpedoes. It's going to be hard to spot those things. Especially for the Frankenstein. Now, speed is not really my strength here. I'm going to just have to wait until they lumber into my range with a bit more firepower on my part. You follow Frankenstein. The DDs over here are almost reloaded. That's pretty quick. It's not like that much of the battle has passed. Oh, nice. We got a fire on the battle cruiser. 16-inch gun hits, and the 14-inch gun also hits. Well done. Now, I am technically in range of the light cruiser, but I'm not really going to risk sending torpedoes that way. They have Hydro 3, they have a respectable turning circle. Sending my torpedoes off to that target is a waste of time. I am much more interested in the turning circle of the battle cruisers, because they are usually not that agile. And if I can get my destroyers closer, I can exploit that. It looks like this battlecruiser is really aggressive about her push. She doesn't carry torpedo tubes that I have seen. Doesn't mean she doesn't have them at all. Although underwater torpedo tubes for the AI are they're somewhat rare. I don't really see them used that too many times. And even when they do have them, it's not necessarily a guarantee that you're going to get torpedoed. Because it's pretty difficult to bring those guns to, or those torpedo tubes to bear, since you have to show full broadside. Okay, this is the Northumberland. Maximum bulkheads. Turning circle 1,457 meters. Good lord. Chance to pen 24% against the Frankenstein, but it is going up. Because I'm approaching the target. My chance to pen that one is, and I'm not sure which gun that is. I'm gonna say it's the 16. Is almost 100%. I think it also goes for the 15-inch. But it's the 14-inch that I currently have available. It looks like the ricochet chance is going up a bit. The DDs, 10.8 kilometers out. I want to use this distraction that the Frankenstein is creating to allow the destroyers to close in more. And then see if I can torpedo the Northumberland. Ideally, I would do a bit of rudder damage using the Frankenstein, making the Northumberland less maneuverable. This also helps. Flooding. Anti-flood 3. Okay, that's the advanced sailors and buckets. Another salvo flies out. Looks very accurate. Yep, another fire's been set. Range 8.4. These things are very hard to see. Not as... Oh, shit! What did I lose? My 16-inch single and the 14-inch. Oh, God, no. They're both gone. I just lost all the turrets on my bow. And on top of that, I'm flooding. And I have a whole lot of fire happening here. I'm probably going to have to consider myself lucky that it didn't blow up entirely. But this was a lot more damage than I was expecting. Smoke up, torpedo out. Frankenstein, you're going to have to pull back. Because this means that I can only kite away, as I only have my 15-inch triple as my main armament left. Damn, I thought it was pretty safe, but without a lot of barbette armor and getting subjected to 14-inch shelling from relatively close range, well, the ship didn't enjoy that. The ship didn't enjoy that at all. And these things got destroyed almost instantly as well. There goes an engine. There's the other battlecruiser, the Enterprise. V3 aggressive. Range 7.1. Sonar? Sonar 3. Even though they have sonar 3, I believe that I can torpedo them. Because the chances of that thing getting out of the way of torpedoes with a turning circle that is that large, I don't find that to be very likely. What I don't get is why the V3 is taking forever to drop her torpedoes. Another fire on the Frankenstein. She's down to 41% structural integrity. The Baden's chance to pen in the Northumberland is 25%. What I really hope won't happen is that the Frankenstein, by exposing her stern and her last surviving turret, that she'll risk losing another turret. If I have another flash fire, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Alright, this is the Turbulent, which is just... yeah, it's inside of gun range of the DDs. My chance to hit, though, is pretty bad. Heavy cruiser. I don't have any torpedoes on this ship, but this guy does. And we are still more or less approaching that battlecruiser, right? Yeah. The only thing I gotta pay attention to is whether or not she'll have her 8-inch guns pointing at my destroyer. When she does, I'm going to have to try and smoke up, torpedo, and get the hell out. Chance to hit. 14%. 14% accuracy is not 14% chance to hit. Northumberland's chance to pen me. 26%. Fortunately, it looks like her accuracy is not that good. The 8-inch are pretty good, though. Fire on the Northumberland, but my chances of getting that thing killed with fires are terrible. Baden, I need you to fall back. Let the V2 take care of this battlecruiser. Her range is only 6.5. In the meanwhile, the Turbulent has launched torpedoes against the battleship. But the Frankenstein has been maneuvering pretty severely, trying to avoid the fire that's coming in from the battlecruisers. So I'm very much hoping that she'll not be in the way, accidentally or otherwise, of those torpedoes. Now, let's see if these two destroyers want to make an effort to torpedo the Enterprise. V2's range to the Northumberland's only 5.4. We have inflicted more engine damage. The 2-inch guns are now targeting the V2. Time to smoke up. She is steady on her course. Damage to a main gun. Good. Another fire's been set. The Frankenstein might have lost her primary armament, but she still has all of those weird secondaries. Look at that. I mean, the ship was a disaster, but I wasn't expecting her to take this level of damage. Much less to survive that level of damage. Come on, V2. Please use those torpedo tubes. Come on, girl. It's like they cannot turn much more than that. They can't turn much more than that, because there's a frickin' there's a 2-inch gun in the way. That's why the damn torpedoes won't launch. They have a really restricted firing arc. Crap. I thought they were pretty free spinning, but they're not. They're very restricted. That explains why the ship won't torpedo. So I have to turn the whole ship around in order to get the torpedoes away. There we go. Torpedoes are away. Northumberland's flooding. I hope she doesn't flood too much, because the more she floods, the more she slows down. The more she slows down, the more I have a pretty high chance of missing my mark. V1, V3, turn back. More flooding on the Northumberland. V2 is still being subjected to a reception of 6, 3 and 2-inch fire. And all the while, the Frankenstein is still taking damage. There we go, they destroyed another secondary in the Frankenstein. Have you detected the torpedoes? Yes, you have. But can you do something? These are 22-inch fish. You really don't want to catch one. Baden, engage the Turbulent. Turbulent not yet reloaded. The Enterprise is 7.9 clicks out. The 3-inch guns have now targeted the heavy cruiser. I'm not terribly scared of 3-inch guns. Northumberland's trying to avoid. She might get away. If any torpedo is going to hit, it's going to be this one. But it looks pretty promising for the escape of the Northumberland. I wasn't expecting the ship to build a turn quite this fast. No, she's going to get away. The torpedo's crossing her wake just about now. Where's that torp? Torp? You didn't get hit, did you? No, there's the torpedo. Just cleared her wake. So that was a failed torpedo attack by the V2. Crap. Now, I cannot really rely on my main battleship to deal damage against the other battlecruiser. The Enterprise. We need to sink the Enterprise using the destroyers. Turbulent is still taking fire from the Baden, but the Baden's chance to hit is pretty bad. Turbulent is not yet reloaded. Ah, there we go. She's taken a bit of damage. The light cruisers are all back there. That's fine. Northumberland continues to flood. Normally I'm very happy to charge in, but in this situation I'm not that eager. Not with losing that much firepower on this ship. We have hit and damaged the Enterprise? Who is still firing at the battlecruiser? Because it must be one of these guns. Yeah, we did do some damage against the Enterprise. Now, what's the chance for a light cruiser to damage the Baden? Not great. Good. I can use that. Fire on Turbulent. I'm gonna have to play this one a bit slower. This looks to be another 1 hour video, so if you're still sticking it out with me, thank you for watching. Turbulent is taking some damage, which might slow her down some. Whoa, that'll definitely slow her down. Ammo detonation. She's flooding like crazy. The whole bow of the ship's gone. There goes the Turbulent. That was indeed quite turbulent. Let's do another torpedo attack with the V3, this time against the Enterprise, as the Northumberland seems to try and limp away. That turning circle is far better than 1457. And sure enough, these guys are probably not operating at full speed. No, Northumberland's doing 27.1 out of her potential 38 knots. Right, so now I'm going to have to try and find that torpedo angle again. The fortunate event here is that the Northumberland is close to the Enterprise. If I miss one, there's still the possibility that I hit the other. Try and torpedo the Enterprise with that weird torpedo angle of yours. Aggressive. I need to have enough angle to lead the target. But not so much so. There we go. V3 has dropped her torpedoes. Now, let's see how the Baden's doing. The Baden is targeting the Torrent. Very good. Gotta make sure that thing disappears before it torpedoes the Frankenstein. Trying to pull away a bit more. Frankenstein's speed is reduced to 14 knots. Your accuracy, 16%. That's not bad. I'm still trying to get the Northumberland out of this fight, but she is definitely putting up a struggle. She is not interested in sinking just yet. She's not done. Torpedoes still on course to the Enterprise. V1, I'm gonna have to try and get you similarly into a decent torpedo angle. V2, we're gonna cut them off at the pass. What's the Enterprise's speed? 34.6 and steady. That's good. V1, come on girl. I know your angles are all wonky. I really need that launcher. Come on. Torpedo tube's turning. Torpedoes away. Well done. Fall back. You've done your duty. Now get the hell out of the way of the light cruisers because they're not happy to see you. The Baden's operating solo right now as I'm trying to push into the light cruisers, making sure that the DDs can operate a bit less disturbed. Northumberland takes another flooding hit. Another 15-inch shell. Actually, two of them managed to penetrate the Northumberland. Whoa! That kills the Northumberland. Just about. She has 0.3 structural integrity left. These British cruisers. Battle cruisers. Look at that thing. Sink. Come on. 0.3? Can somebody sneeze at the Northumberland and just put her down? Any gun? 6 inch, 7 inch, 8 inch, 15 inch. Any gun. I'm not picky. I just need this battlecruiser down because she still has another 9 14-inch guns firing at my already pretty heavily damaged battleship, which is now also starting to flood. 0.3. You're not making this shit up. It looks like the Enterprise has detected the torpedoes and is turning. Finally, Northumberland takes that last sneeze of damage. Enterprise turning hard to starboard, which is pretty bad news for the torpedo's chance to hit. At least those that were fired as the second salvo. I also need to keep a pretty close eye on what the Baden is doing, because the Curlew, Pioneer, those two have just tried to torpedo me. Pretty rude if you ask me, but understandable. So let's use the Baden's perfect turning circle and get out. Oh, hold up. This could be a hit. Depends on whether the Enterprise overturns or not. Is she going to overcorrect? Yeah, I think she is. Or it's going to be a really close shave. No. Yes, there we go. 417 damage. Flooding, engine damage, and a fire. I'll take that. The second salvo of torpedoes sent out all the way to over there is a complete failure. That's alright. Maybe the V2 can still do something useful. She still has 8 torpedoes left. That's enough to fire 2 salvos. Flooding on the Curlew. Chance to hit, not great. Damage done, 6.8k. Damage taken, 20 or 2.4k. Not bad. Not bad. But I'm not sure if that really takes into consideration the amount of damage that I took from getting 2 flash fires. I think not. Currently, I'm pretty happy exchanging fire with the Enterprise. I don't mind that happening. The Enterprise is looking to... well, this torpedo, if the Enterprise continues on her course, might get close. Might. Oh, it looks like the V2 is now the focal point. Guess she doesn't like getting a close encounter with the DD. No, there's the torpedo, there's the battlecruiser. If I can trade 1 destroyer for 1 battlecruiser, I'll take it. Range 6.5, 6.4, 6.3, 6.2. We're charging into that ship at 39 knots. 5.9, 5.8, 5.7. Hold up, I have to keep a closer eye on Baden. Not expecting those torpedoes to be anywhere near the ship because I did maneuver, but I don't want to risk it. It's a very valuable asset in my fight against the destroyers later on. Or the light cruisers, rather. And the destroyer. Because that destroyer still is angling for a shot at the battleship, but is not currently taking it. All the guns from the Enterprise are trained at the V2. Fire and flooding on the V2. Maxi bulkheads, save me. Hard to starboard. Looked like another salvo of the 8-inch guns right there. Range 4.4. Enterprise's speed is 31.6. What sort of shaft do you have? Shaft 3 and aux 3. Uh-oh. Please don't hit me. Because if you hit, it could be game over for the V2 right away. They don't hit. Now we're going to have to do our weird torpedo dance again. The German torpedo shuffle, because somebody decided to place a frickin' 2-inch gun next to the launcher. And thought that that was a good idea. Meaning that the V2 can basically only torpedo when she's heading away from something. 3.7. The Enterprise, with her extensive underwater hydrophone station, will probably spot the torpedoes right from the get-go. But the real question is, can she react in time? V2, course correct. Torpedo, torpedo, torpedo! Come on! I'm heading away from the Enterprise again. Come on, don't get hit. Oh! Torpedoes are away on the V2. Well done, now get the hell out. Baden, status. Still no torpedoes in sight, but that's kind of the issue with these things. You don't see them at all. Let's course correct again. Frankenstein still holding at 35% hit points. Or structural integrity, if you know to be exact. And we're fighting still at 14 kilometers against the Enterprise. Enterprise seemingly has not yet picked up the torpedoes. Where are my other destroyers at? I pulled those back to beyond the Frankenstein. Okay, guys, you're going to have to charge back in. It looks like the V2 is in a lot of trouble. Yeah, she'll sink. Maybe, however, she did what she needed to do. If the Enterprise continues sailing on her current course, and she won't, she'll course correct the moment that she spots those torps. There we go, she's detected the torpedoes. She's probably going to correct hard to starboard. Or not. There, now she's turning. Is that enough? I don't think so. I don't think so. Baden status. You're about to fight it out with the Curlew at exceptionally close range. Not necessarily opposed to that, but I don't know whether that torpedo... Yeah, there we go. The torpedo launcher just fired. Maximum course correction. Switching back over to the Enterprise. Which finds a gap and avoids all the torpedoes. You have to be kidding me. Oh, you are really good with your rudder today. Well done to that ship. Chance to pen the Curlew is 79%. Armor is about maximum 2.9 inch plus 118. So let's say about 5.7 inch. Or actually more, isn't it? But it's only on the turrets. Speaking of turrets, I'm turning so quickly that the ship cannot keep up. Or sorry, that the turrets cannot keep up. Switch to high explosive fire. Come on. The ship is running a little low on ammunition. Which just goes to show how much she's already sent towards the enemy. Considering that she started out with 260 ammo per gun. So per turret, that is. And she's down to 250. Nice, that's a good fire on the Curlew. Still many bulkheads, and she did launch another set of torpedoes. You little shit. Again, hard port course correction. V1 and V3, we still have a battlecruiser to sink. This battle is going to go on for a while. There, another fire. Another fire. I'm just trying to wear down the ship. Just reduce her structural integrity to 0, but it seems like that's going to take a while to do. Rudder damaged, fire and flooding. Another flooding. Maybe flooding's easier to get done. Chance to pen, 25%. We are starting to flood. Another flooding. Buoyancy down to 40%. And this is where the sailors start to panic and really start to hose out the water. 39%. Damage to the torpedoes. Good. Well, they're not going to be reloaded anytime soon anyway. Another fire. Come on, rip that ship apart. Missed? Come on now. The battle cruiser has taken an interest in the Baden. At the expense of the Baden and her survivability. Let's get out of here before the battle cruiser comes back. There we go. Curlew is dead. Fighting against the battle cruiser with high explosive is probably not going to yield any significant rewards. Save your main ammunition unless you think you can hit the torrent. The torrent tried to torpedo the heavy cruiser. But I'm already using a lot of maneuvers. So she should be safe. Let's smoke up the V3. It's a bit far. But at the moment I'd rather have a live DD without a smokescreen than a dead DD. Baden might make it out alive. This ship still has a ton of ammo. One problem that I see with the Frankenstein is that she's slow. So she cannot really close the distance. The Enterprise is going to determine the engagement range. And on top of that, I don't really have any forward-facing turrets. All I have is one chasing turret. And that's a problem. Baden just took a bit of a hit, but seems to be surviving. How fast can the Enterprise still go? 28.7. I want to get this destroyer out of the way. She still has 2 good salvos left in her. Baden. Next target. Bonaventura. Sorry, Bonaventure. Torrent takes another fire. Few bulkheads on that destroyer. Range to the battlecruiser, still 18 clicks. Torrent, another fire. And flooding, that's more interesting. That's way more interesting, because she can't fight that properly. Ooh, speaking of. I think I just have to deliver those torpedoes to the Enterprise at very close range. Torrent's torpedoes are getting quite close to being ready for another salvo. 5.4 clicks. Zigzagging as much as possible with the V3, making myself a very difficult target for the battlecruiser. Come on, Torrent. Take a hint. Nope. She does not understand what needs to be done. Main gun damaged. Most of the ship's now burning. Range. There we go. Torrent's dead. V3 takes a large chunk of damage, but seemingly not dead yet. Hold up. Detach. Range 3.1. Continue to port. Turn that way. V1 hard to starboard. Let's see if I can get the torpedoes away. Oh shit, there goes the V1. Taking a salvo that might not even have been meant for her. Guys, smoke up. Torpedoes away from the V3. Come on. Get those torpedoes away. Got them. Torpedoes are away. V3, V1, turn back. Baden, status. Still heading away safely. Frankenstein, range to target. 14 clicks, so we're closing in. The Enterprise now has to detect and avoid 2 salvos, and she already has detected 1 of them. She is turning. Damn, the AI got really good at avoiding torpedoes. Look at that thing go. That's both of the sets just completely failed. I should have torped from 2 different directions, creating a gap where the Enterprise couldn't go through. Just cross-torp. I'm not sure if the V1 and the V3 can do this thing again. They might not have the speed to get into range. I'm not sure which way this battle is going to go. It can still turn out in favor of the Enterprise. Another damage to the funnel on the V3. Fortunately, it overpens. That thing didn't. That's another 14-inch salvo that hits. How much ammo do you carry? Not that much. There goes the V3. Crap, so they still have 2 light cruisers and a battle cruiser. And all I have is a battleship that can barely do damage. I knew this was going to be a tricky fight, but this is harder than I'd expected. There's also the challenge of actually doing damage to the battlecruiser. How much ammo do I still carry? 185. If I turn in, is that going to help my survivability? Yeah, it'll drop the chance to pen, but it also means I don't actually have a 14-inch gun to fire at her. Which way is she going? That way. Okay, we're going to turn right into that ship. Turn to where she's going to be. Baden. Opening up against the battlecruiser with 14-inch guns. Oh, sorry, with 4-inch guns, not 14-inch. 4-inch. And even the 9-inch guns are working. My chance to pen is not terrible. %12 chance to hit. Bit of damage, but accuracy is dropping quickly. Or sorry, pen chance is dropping quickly. Range, 10 clicks. And dropping. Angle still good? Yeah, angle still good. V1. It's time for one last hurrah. I need one more salvo of torpedoes on the Enterprise at close range, and I'm going to use the Frankenstein as a distraction. That's the new plan. Oh, I just ran out of ammo for the 1 666-inch gun that I have. Okay. Range, 8.6. Comport. Time to bring that 14-inch gun to bear. Sorry, that was Dutch. The 14-inch gun. I'm not sure how... Whoa! How scared I have to be of the light cruisers. Well, about this scared, apparently. Okay, that was a good salvo. A 15-inch? Wait, I thought my 15-inch got blown off the ship. No, the 14-inch got blown off the ship. The 15s are still functional. Okay. I thought I had smaller caliber guns, but no, I have 15-inch. Range, 6 clicks. Flooding on the Enterprise. 2 engines are out. That's both good news and bad. The good news, it'll be a bit easier to predict where she's going. She won't be as quick to react. The bad news, she's going to be probably slowing down all the time. And as long as her rudder is still functional, she'll be perfectly capable of avoiding torpedoes. Low speed, functional rudder, not that much flooding. There's a high chance that I'll not be able to land that last salvo of torpedoes. Another flooding hit. Structural integrity down to 54%. Structural on the Frankenstein is down to 30%. Range 5-0. Guns on the Enterprise targeting the DD, everything except the 14s. And my destroyer is running around at 19 knots. Baden, you're about to run out of ammunition. V1 just took another hit. Enterprise, 26-6, 26-6 holding. Impressive. 4.4. 26-4, she is slowing down. How much ammo do we still have? 66 shells. That is not a lot to take down a battlecruiser. Frankenstein floods again. Uh-oh, the V1 starts to flood. Okay, I'm not going to take any more risks. It's time to do that last torpedo launch. Come to port. Speed 25.7. Come on, torpedoes away. Small damaging hit against the Frankenstein. The Baden is running exceptionally low on 9-inch guns. Soon I'm going to have nothing left but 3-inch and 2-inch. The Pioneer is still healthy. The risk will be torpedoes. So let's avoid that for a while. Come on, I need those torpedoes to hit badly. She detected them. There she goes again. Hard to starboard. She is perfectly safe. Not a chance that those torpedoes will hit. I should have gone closer. There's no going closer now. There is one more thing that I can try, and that's to ram the Enterprise with the Baden. By doing that, I remove a factor of damage that can damage the Frankenstein, and then the smaller caliber guns eventually will be able to rip through the light cruisers. The light cruiser here just torpedoed the Baden again. And the Bonaventure did the same. Eight-inch gun running relatively low. That is one tough cookie to kill. There we go. 2 more hits. More flooding. I'm just going to tell the V2 to get out. Oh, sorry, the V1. Baden. I have an unenviable job. But I think you're the only one who can do it before the Frankenstein runs out of ammunition. 36 shells left on that 15-inch triple. Fire on the Enterprise. The secondary guns are now targeting the Baden, but the question remains, can they kill it in time? If it comes down to me, I'm going to say no. The reason why I'm sacrificing the Baden is because I'm running out of ammo. And on top of that, the Baden is not really an effective fighting ship anymore, considering what I'm fighting. If there was still a destroyer or 2 around, I would say that yes, she's still valuable. Because she does have that very nice sonar system. And she has 4, 3 and 2-inch guns, although the 4s just ran out, so I'm down to 3s and 2s. And that means that, yes, against destroyers, she's effective. Against the battlecruiser and a bunch of lights, not so much. So, for that particular reason, she is going to charge in. The Enterprise is fighting back with all that she's worth. Oh! Ceasefire on the mains. Don't slow down too much. Enterprise speed, 17.4. I'll be able to catch her. But she might get a few more salvos off before I get there. Structural integrity 17 versus my 61. Come on, Baden. I'm trying to pull everything I have here. Oh, 59%. No, don't listen to your collision avoidance. I want to force a collision. She ran out of ammo with the 9-inch guns. Maximum port turn. The longer I can stay alongside that ship, the better. Do it. There we go. I'm always impressed with the images of these ships. These collisions like this. The Enterprise is losing structural integrity quickly. 9%, 8%, 7%. Baden might, however, sink before she does. Enterprise is down, and the Baden is down at the same time. Good lord. So now, in brackets, all I have to do is take down a light cruiser. Well, 2 in fact, but the Bonaventure is not just a light cruiser, she's a torpedo threat. I'd say that the Baden is the hero of today. Torpedoes are away. Let's use that information and turn quickly. So far as you can still turn quickly. 11 knots is about all she'll do. If I get hit, I have very little torpedo blister. And these are 19-inch torpedoes. I'll probably take a few 100 points of damage. Which means that my chances of survival are not that great. And I don't really see the V1 doing anything else to combat it. Ammunition for all those secondaries looks pretty healthy. It's just that they're mostly on the port side of the ship. How many shells? That's the 15s. Whoa! Okay. Not expecting that, but I'll take it. Was that the last salvo of the 15s? Shells... Where can I see that? Ammo left, 12. Good hit. Now we just need to capture the... well, not capture. Capture would be nice. Catch the Bonaventure. 8-inch gun is out. 7-inch gun. 6-inch gun is out. Well, the 7 is available, but not in a good firing arc. Let's turn a little more. Maybe that 15 feels that it has enough accuracy. There we go. It has just about enough accuracy, but the Bonaventure is still moving away. Another hit, or, well, salvo, but not a hit. This is one of the longest videos I've done so far. The only thing that this Bonaventure could do, if it really wanted to try and sink me, is ram me. There we go, that's the last of the 15s. You know what, maybe I should let the Bonaventure live. Because then at least the British get a warning saying, hey, there is a very dangerous battleship around. She lost 2 turrets, and still she was able to do a lot of damage against the remainder of the fleet. It looks like absolute dog shit, this ship, but it performs. Sort of. I'm going to swing to starboard to bring the 7-inch guns to bear. Although my chances to hit with that are a mere 2%. 2%. Right. Alright, I am not going to catch the Bonaventure. She's too fast, she's too far, she can dictate when and where we're going to fight. And it looks like the AI doesn't even know how to use the ship anymore. It doesn't have torps. It still has ammo, but probably finds that that will not be effective. And that there is, there we go, 2%. It's not effective, and there is just not enough of it to still reliably fire at the Frankenstein. So, despite everything that happened, I'd say that the battle goes to the Frankenstein. In whatever state we find her in. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the scenario. Thank you, Mineral Eater, for this scenario. If you made it all the way to the end, well done. This was a hell of a long video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon for another one. Albeit probably a shorter one. See you then.